Yes. Good morning. Good morning. It's a gilet morning. I've been wearing my gilets. I've got about 5 of them. I've been wearing them a lot lately just because it's so bloody cold. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is indeed the morning after the game before, where a 3-0 win against a somewhat poor Elfsborg. Would it be fair to say they were poor? I don't know. They worked hard, sat 10 men behind the ball, but we were always going to win that game. And of course, it's got our fans spiraling. I'm seeing already YouTubers making videos about Spurs youngsters are scary. This isn't normal. What's not normal? That a few kids got a few minutes against a really poor side. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's as though we never learn. But hey, I get it. We are so starved of success that we will celebrate anything in this fan base. Look, today we're expecting somewhat news from the Matthias Tell situation. We're going to be talking about that in a bit more detail. This morning, Mario Hermoso signed for to Bayer Leverkusen. Who else? Jordan Henderson has signed for Monaco. Al Ali in Saudi are pushing for Galeno from FC Porto. It feels like they're trying to sign everyone at the moment, doesn't it, out there? You've got Ruben Amorim talking about Kobe Mainu possibly being a number 10. You've got Alvaro Morata joining Galatasaray from AC Milan. Juventus are hoping to shore up the deal for Kevin Danso. Girona are trying to sign Arthur Melo, if anyone remembers old Arthur Melo. Gavi has signed a new deal at Barcelona, and his release clause is 1 billion euros. And the next people apparently to sign their new deals in the coming months are going to be Inigo Martinez and Lamine Yamal, who is absolute quality. Man United have signed Aidan Heaven from Arsenal, great name. Monchi, the Aston Villa director, has confirmed that Unai Emery does like both João Felix and Marcos Asensio. So there's lots and lots and lots happening at the moment. Let's see what Tottenham Hotspur do. Let's see if Tell is in fact going to join Tottenham, or whether or not he has talks with some of the other clubs and decides that he would rather go there. We're going to talk about that. Where are we? Let's say hello to a few people, shall we? And before we start, come on, smash that like button. There's 200 of you in here and 39 likes. We're not going to do this game today. We're not doing it. Come on. We're not doing this game. Please do smash that like button. Please subscribe as we go along. And I think this might be my last stream until Sunday because I'm out all day tomorrow. I'm actually going to Bromley versus Grimsby in League 2. My mate's got a box there, so there's 7 or 8 of us going to go down to the box. We're going to watch Bromley v Grimsby, and then we're out in the evening. So I won't be doing any live streams tomorrow. Maybe a video if Matthias Tell was to sign, for example, or other footballers are available from other clubs. Let's have a look. Let's see who's in the chat. Big up to B Banjo. He said the Tell deal was up to him. I wish I was Tell right now. So many big Premier League clubs wanting me. Yeah, well, listen, he is definitely one of the players available that lots of clubs are after. So fair play to him. And good morning to you. Good morning to Dan Skyline. Good morning to the Sanctuary of 7. Big up to Bella. Big up to Tony. How you doing? And El Del Cockerel. Big up, Jose. Good morning, Reverend. Will I be signing today? I'll give you the exclusive. The way Spurs are playing at the moment, you might as well sign for Spurs, Jose. You could go at centre back. This is the most I've ever heard my name. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Big up to you. Big up to Jimmy inside the house. Big up to Atavatron Wembley. Good morning. Absolutely. Yeah, good on the kids, but let's not get carried away. Honestly, I'm in some WhatsApp groups, and you would think that Lionel Messi has entered Tottenham Hotspur after last night. It is so crazy how we put these kids. They're being called the class of 92. these kids are going to be world class. This is, it's all a bit too much after a 15-minute cameo from Ajayi and Scarlett. But hey, it is what it is. We don't learn. Good morning to Ryan. Good morning to Mark. Good morning to this Mark. Good morning to Mike Pepper. Kate, good morning, my friend. Good morning. Good morning to Mr. AJ. Have you said, I'll get to my emails. Sorry, my emails have gone mad lately. My Football Heritage TV emails have gone mad. Hang on, it's brother. Okay, right. I'm working on work. Can't come up to go right, but okay, cool. Sorry, just quickly. Maybe about 4 p.m. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. Right. Okay. Who else is in the chat? We have got Phil Coys. Here he is. I love Phil. For someone who's not often right about football, he does try his best. So big up to you, Phil. Breaking news. Talks between Brighton and Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr over potential transfer of Mitoma have ended. There you go. Mitoma not going anywhere. You're not going to get a player like Mitoma for 65 million quid. Not in this market. Brighton are not silly. When people say, just go and get Mitoma, sure, you've got to whack down some money. Big up to Teague inside the house. Pete Ross, come on, you know what we're like. What I get told a lot, I find this really funny. What I get told loads is just get, it's okay to be excited. What? Because we beat Elfsborg? Sure. I mean, what? Because Dane Scarlett scored a header? Like, I don't know. I feel like we want to get excited about everything as though we're on the playground. You know what I mean? But look, from my point of view, where I feel sorry for some of these kids is you won't see them moving forward. How many minutes is Dane Scarlett and Ajayi going to get? We'll see before people want to tell me they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Big up to Abdugani. How you doing? Big up to Rich C. Hope you're doing well. Brentford, we will be talking about Brentford as well once I get into the show a little bit more. Good morning, Leo. Good morning. How you doing, brother? Hope you're well. Big Friday morning to Dan Harris. So went to the game last night. Was a bit meh, but the kids scoring lifted the roof. Yeah, listen, much needed the kids scoring, right? Because it wasn't a good game. We didn't play well again. But Jay, for me, really did light it up a little bit. And it was really good to see somebody that gets the ball and actually wants to run at players. Maybe he could teach Brennan Johnson a thing or two about being a wide player. Mark has said he thinks that Villa will get him. I guess we're talking about Matthias Tell. Carl has said, you live or you love in Beckenham or both? You live in Beckenham right near Bromley. Yeah, I'm just down the road from Bromley. Beckenham, I used to go out in Beckenham every Thursday night there in Bromley. Yeah, so back in the day, way back in the day. Places like Box Bar and was it the Rat and Parrot or O'Neill's, the one up there? But I don't know. A long time ago. Big up to you, my friend. Oh mate, the comments I've been seeing about these kids is it's amazing. And do you know what? People always say, "Oh, get behind them." For me, it's not about getting behind them. For me, it's about don't put too much pressure on them. And I just think our fans put so much pressure on. It's madness. If Tell joins Tottenham over the other clubs that are interested, credit has to go to the owners and recruitment team. Also, does that squash the Spurs aren't attractive? What? Because a 19-year-old joins Tottenham? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 19-year-old joins Tottenham. Oh, we're super attractive. Oh, see, as I said, we're so easily pleased. We're so easily pleased. Look, if he comes, it could be because we've offered him more game time. But for me, I don't think he will join. I'm not really too bothered. He's a decent player, but I feel like everyone, again, is going on as though this is a bloke that scored 30 goals a season every year. And I don't think it changes the way we play. I think it's going to leave us still wide open, but hey, we'll see if he signs, won't we? Good morning, Wayne Francois. Fran is a typical fan base. Oh, we do. We get so excited. You should see the debates me, Johnny, and Lubo have been having in a WhatsApp group. They are all over it. They are all over it. Like, oh my God, these players, they're brilliant. It's the best we've seen. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, hang on. I heard this about 15, 20, 30, 40 other players that I mentioned. And let's see. I think the proof of the pudding, as anything, is in the eating, right? And what I mean by that is if in 2-3 years' time, a J.E., Lancashire, Moore, Gray, Bergval, Vuskovic, if all of these players, for example, form our first 11, brilliant. I just don't think they will. It's just no team does this. I asked this morning, other than the class of 92, doesn't the class of 90, other than the class of 92, can anyone tell me the last time a club brought through 4 or 5 youth players into the team at the same time and played for a season? I don't mean because they had to play one game because of injuries. I can't think of one, but let me know what you think. Jimmy has said, does last night go to show what could have happened if he played the youngsters earlier in the season? Look, it's difficult to tell. We've got to take into account the opposition. Spurs won't play anyone in the Premier League as bad as Elfsborg. That's the difference, right? So, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. Who knows? We couldn't. But we're not going to play anyone as bad as Elfsborg every week in the Premier League. And it's difficult, right? Like, for example, a J.E. looked good, looked really exciting. Is he going to get a chance in the Premier League? Does he get a chance against Brentford, for example? I don't know. Let's wait and see. Paul, big up to you, has said Elfsborg result will become a distant memory if we lose to Brentford. I mean, the Elfsborg result for me is a distant memory already. It was a game we had to win and we're going to win. They're really poor. For me, I think the games that stick in my memory at the moment are Everton, right? Leicester, Wolves, these games that we've not won. They're the games in my memory at the moment, my friend. Daniel said, hey, Jay just showed. Well, look, let's hope that he is kept on the bench when players are fit. And this is half the problem, what we've got to remember. When players are back fit, the likes of a J.E., Mikey Moore, Bergval, great. Are they going to get in the 11? Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't play any of them in the 11, but will this manager play them in the 11? Mark has said used to go out on a Thursday night, but now, no, Savva's got old, which is why he doesn't go out on a Thursday night. And obviously not drinking anymore. Just takes the shine off of nights out. It really does. It's not quite the same. Daniel has said the most underrated bit about a Jay's cameo was he didn't lose the ball like the rest of our players do for fun. Yes, I will give him that. Yes. For me, I watch players like Graham Bergval give the ball away for fun. Right, Bentancur, give the ball away for fun. And then at the end of the game, people go, oh, I thought so-and-so had a really good game. And I'm sitting there, not yesterday, but I'm sitting there thinking, didn't we watch the same game? It's almost like the retention of the football isn't viewed as part of having a good game now, Dan. I completely agree with you. Grab a granny night. The pressure needs to stay on these owners. Yeah, well, listen, things are happening. Things are happening behind the scenes, but it's going to take time. Give it a few weeks, let people have a few talks and stuff. I think there's lots of different pockets of people at the moment having discussions, so we'll see. Sam said them kids that scored yesterday deserve to be in the starting 11 against Brentford on the weekend. Right. Now, here's the difference, Sam. I'm not saying none of them do, but I think if against Brentford, if you start Mikey Moore, a J.E., Scarlett, I think that Brentford are going to overpower us. They're a very, very good team at their own ground. I get it. I just think, is it too much to say they should all start off the back of 15-minute cameos? I'm not sure. I'll let you lot in the chat discuss it. Thank you for the 2 people that have subscribed. The likes, only 99. Let's get that to 200, please. And on the subscriber front, we're only 3 away from 16,250. So we'd have done 250 subs in a week. So if we can get that up, that would be absolutely amazing. People are talking up Tell like he's Lamau. He's got 0 goals and assists. Look, and again, this is the thing. Like as I said to Phil's comment earlier, like when people are talking about the caliber of player coming in. Listen, I want to go and sign established footballers that are doing it. Go and sign play. Like if we went and signed them Buemo, I would say, yeah, that's attractive. We're attractive. Not a 19-year-old that can't get a game of football and hasn't scored many goals in his career. Now, I'm not knocking Tell. He looks exciting. From when I've seen him, he looks like there's a lot of ability there. He looks exciting, but he is another 19-year-old. And at the moment, we are turning into a massive, massive crash. And this is the worry. But look, for me, I won't give credit to, by the way, Daniel Maldini is set to join Atalanta from Monza. Imagine having Paolo Maldini as your dad. That's all I'll say on that one. But this is my point. Is we sign these 19-year-olds and go, there you go. Do we give credit to Levy and co? No, credit would be going to buy senior pros for me. Let me know in the chat what you think. Am I being harsh on the ownership? For me, sure, go and get a 19-year-old that's not getting a game at his club. But for me, the credit will be when you go and buy senior pros. If they had got a Neto, if they had got an Eze, if they had gone and got somebody like a Locatelli from Juve, that's where I give credit. I don't give credit because we've managed to sign 19-year-olds every transfer window. Like the people going, Bergval, we beat Barcelona to Bergval. Well, of course, Barcelona wouldn't have guaranteed Bergval game time. They've got a million youngsters better than Bergval or as good as Bergval. There's, I feel like context is a huge thing. Hey, Mamba said, Tom Carroll, Wink, Skip, Johnny Jackson. The list goes, mate, listen, we did it this morning. I listed about 40 players where everyone wants to praise them before they've done anything. And again, it's not knocking them. I think take the pressure off them. Every game you watch, Mikey Moore, every game, now people are looking at a 17-year-old kid going, yeah, I don't really rate him. Oh, my God, he's amazing. There's nowhere in the middle. He's a 17-year-old kid. I wouldn't expect him to rip up the league at 17. For me, let him come on. Let him get his minutes. Start a few games. Yeah. He's going to have some good runs. But overall, we've not seen anything from Mikey Moore where you go, wow. But you can see there's talent there. And I think we just need to nurture that. We need to nurture that. Give it time. First of all, let him grow into himself. He's 17. Don't know about you lot. When I was 17, I was still growing and changing. I was a skinny little wretch and I was growing into my body like most of you, right? Ali suggests Savva, the Champions League draw is at 11. It is indeed. It is indeed. We're going to see. It's going to be really interesting. Some big matches. There's either going to be Real Madrid v. Is it Real Madrid or Bayern Munich versus Man City? That's going to be absolutely massive, isn't it? Yeah, listen, there's so many stories of these wonder kids. And listen, I'm like you lot. I hope that every one of these kids comes into the teams and turns into Lionel Messi. Unfortunately, I'm old enough, like most of you are, to know that it doesn't quite happen that way. And that's football. Some players progress, other players don't. Some will drop down into the Championship, League One, League Two. Others will be top stars. We'll see, right? We'll see. PSV have rejected an offer from West Ham for Ricardo Pepe on loan with obligation to buy for 21 million. There's some breaking news about Evan Ferguson, but I've got the sound off, so I don't know what it is. But I can see Evan Ferguson in my screen right now. Chloe Kelly has come out and said something. She's obviously just moved from Manchester City to Arsenal on loan. She said, they've called reporters to assassinate my character. I just want to find happiness again. So I don't know what's happened with Chloe Kelly, but something's happened. She's not happy about something, is she? We'll find out more. Ilan has said, or Ian, I'm not sure how I'm pronouncing this, but has said, brilliant result. Happy for our young players. Yeah, look, it was a good result. I thought it was a really poor performance, good result, and one that we were always going to win. Elfsborg are really poor, but we had to win it, and we did. Joey Barton, not the Joey Barton, I reckon, but big up to you, my man, has said Lancashire is going out on loan. Yes, apparently there's 4 or 5 Championship clubs that want him. And again, this for me is what we should be doing. Get someone like Will Lancashire. He shouldn't have been sitting on our bench all season. He should have been out on loan, right? And let's see him score goals at that level. Go to a Leeds or West Brom, all these clubs that want him. Score between now and the end of the season. Grab yourself 8, 9, 10 goals. Show everybody what you're about. And that's how I think the youth players should commence. Kate, big up to you, has said, Savva, 50 million for Tell. That's a lot for a prospect. Yes, I do think that a lot of the reason why we're going after this guy is because the Harry Kane money. I know, I can't believe we're still talking about Harry Kane, but Bayern Munich owe us money from for the Harry Kane deal, and apparently that money would be used to offset the transfer fee for Tell. So when we say credit to the owners, cloak and daggers, more like. Nathi has said Creche Hotspur. Yeah, we've built a £1 billion creche. Only Spurs could build the best stadium in the world and then buy kids constantly to go in it. Like, no senior pros, no top senior pros. As Bella said, we need senior pros, not youth. I agree. We have so much youth there. I can't believe we're still buying more. But Mike absolutely said buying kids don't take much effort. Yeah, it's an easier sell to kids, isn't it? Hey, you're young. We'll give you game time. You could develop here. Your salary's not going to be as much, right? It's an easy sell. Barcelona don't even have space. Yeah, look, but by the way, for anyone, I watch Barcelona most weeks when I can, and you watch the conveyor belt of kids they bring through La Masia. And then people are going, oh, we beat them to Bergvall. And you're like, yeah, I'm sure they're not bothered. I'm sure they're not bothered. Finn, big up to you, my man, has said, I've been hearing some Ange fans calling the Scarlet Ajayi subs a tactical masterclass. Yeah, right. Because Ange has been pulling off tactical masterclasses. If I'm right, didn't Scarlet only go on the pitch because Radu Dragusin got injured? Oh, listen, I think anybody will say whatever they want for their own agenda, right? It is the way it is. Daniela said Spurs are having the pants pulled down with this 19-year-old. Look, we'll see how good he is. At the moment, he hasn't even agreed to join us. We'll see. Will he join us? I don't know. Listen, if I had Chelsea, Man United, Villa, other clubs after me, would I want to join Spurs? I don't know. Are we going to promise him more game time? Is he going to play instead of Son? I don't know. Lots of questions. Who do you think is better right now, Moore or Nwaneri? Listen, I think it's an unfair question in terms of who do I think is better. They're both young kids. Nwaneri's getting more game time and having more impact on proper games, I think, if we're going to be brutally honest. But Moore looks good. He looks decent. I think what's important for both of those two kids, like I know one's at Arsenal, both of them, is that the respective fan bases give these players time to settle. Nwaneri's making a bit more of a splash in terms of playing in bigger, high-profile games. But they're both really young. They're both really young kids. Yido said West Ham in for Ferg. Look, listen, that'll be interesting. He's a player with a lot of promise that kind of lost his way a little bit a year and a half ago, didn't he? Some injuries, not then getting back into the team. So that'll be an interesting one. And we know West Ham do need a centre forward. So we'll see. Marseille have just signed a striker. Amin Guri has arrived in Marseille to become the new Olympic Marseille striker as the replacement for Eli Wahi, who left earlier on in the window. Fee is around 21 to 22 million euros for the Rennes striker. Okay, well, that's interesting. So more strikers moving around Europe. Atavatron said, with our current striker situation, Lancashire shouldn't be going out on loan. Yes, but now you've got Scarlett back there, right? You've got Solanke, Richarlison, Scarlett. If you have Lancashire as well, how do they get game time? I guess that's the question they're going to ask, right? The best looking daycare centre going in world football. Look, I think we need to ask ourselves what we want as a fan base. The same fans that I see talking about, we only want winning managers. We only want winning managers. We want Levy and Enoch out so we can go and buy top players. On the other hand, then want a youth project. Which one is it? What do you want? Do you want top owners or do you want a youth project? If you want a youth project, we don't need to do anything. We don't need to change the owners, right? For me, I don't think both go hand in hand. Mark said, have we signed anyone yet? Florian Plettenberg saying United to go and Vattel. Let's have a little look at Florian Plettenberg. Let's see what that man is saying. I like Florian Plettenberg. Florian Plettenberg has said 5 minutes ago, exclusive. Understand that Man United have contacted Bayern regarding Tell. Man United are interested in a loan deal and hope to buy some time regarding Tell since departures are needed. Garnacho and Rashford. Man United are definitely in the race as exclusively revealed. Okay, so there you go. So you've got Man United. You've got Man United in the race. We're hearing that Villa are in the race, Tottenham are in the race. Where does he go? Where would you go, guys and girls, in the chat right now? If the three options were Man U, Villa, Tottenham, let's see how biased everyone is. What would be your preference if you were a pro footballer? Forget that you're a Spurs fan. Yeah, it's what we do, isn't it? It's the same, as I said, as those YouTubers making videos about Spurs kids are crazy. They're so scary. It's like, oh my gosh, everything is so knee-jerk. And I get it. I get that there's a market for fans that want to watch that content. I get it. But I think for a lot of adults, we've been here, seen it before, and we don't get as easily excited. You say about us buying young players, didn't Chelsea just do that and spend nearly £1 billion? Sure. What's your point? I don't support Chelsea. I don't support Chelsea, Greg. Look, I mean, Chelsea have bought a lot of youngsters as well, but Chelsea as well have bought a lot of 20, 21, 22-year-olds that had experience. Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo. Do you know what I mean? When Cole Palmer. When you look at us, we're buying a lot of kids with not a lot of experience. Listen, I don't care about Chelsea. That's up to them. Mamba said, I'm more worried, in fact, that we're not in for it. Listen, I agree. It feels like every window at the moment, doesn't it? We just go after wingers. Since he's joined, we've had Solomon, Johnson, Yang, Werner, Odeber. Now they're after Tell. Like, it's just crazy, isn't it? Like, it's constantly wingers. Why not stop buying so many and buy one top quality winger? Just my opinion. Quinny thinks it'll be Villa. Mark thinks Villa. Glenn has just gone with not us. Belgrade Wanderer has said Villa. By the way, the likes are terrible. Only 140 likes, but thank you for the person that just subscribed to me. Only 140 likes. Sorry, one of my mates getting really frustrated about the situation with Tell. And look, it's funny, man. It's funny. Listen, this is what we do. So Villa, not us. Villa. He can play on the left of Watkins. I think that Tell, Watkins, and Rodgers looks pacey, doesn't it? Looks very pacey and powerful. Will we get him? Will he start on our left? Will we let him flourish? Or are we going to make him get the ball and cut inside every 5 minutes, the way that Kulu does, Johnson does, Son does? And obviously that's a tactical request from the manager. Villa on loan. United, says Pels. United, I think it might be Man United, depending on if they can get rid of Garnacho or Rashford. I think it's all going to be very interesting in the next 4 days, isn't it? As a Spurs fan, Spurs, but probably Villa, Man U, Villa on loan, Villa. The best Tell is the one who's no longer with us. What a man! Are we talking about Terry Venables? Villa all day long. Rest in peace, Terry Venables. Villa. United are down there with us. Villa in the Champions League, so I would go there. Yeah, I think the thing is, Man U always have a bit of a pull, don't they? Because of the size of the club. They always do. They because of the size of the club. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens. By the way, which day Which day is the transfer deadline day? I might do a transfer deadline day show. Which day, people? Sheriff, Mark Sheriff from the Two Mark Show said Spurs, obviously, there's a crest there already. Yeah, it's ready to go. Ready to go. Throw the kitchen sink at Bakayoko. I mean, I think the difficulty is Bakayoko's playing in the Champions League right now, isn't he? And getting games every week. I agree with you. Good player, Bakayoko. I'm a fan. Hang on. When is the transfer deadline day? Monday, February the 3rd. Monday, February the 3rd. Tell you what we'll do. We'll do a transfer deadline day show, shall we? This Monday? Is that right? We'll do a transfer deadline day show. Why not? Billy said, to me, it doesn't matter who we get. It's shocking how we have left it this late. Obviously, there's no plan in place. Daniel was, that wasn't to me. Chris has said, even the board know Ange's tactics mean it doesn't matter who plays at the back. So why bother signing defenders? Chris has woken up on the right side of the bed. Good morning, Chris. Happy Friday to each of you. And it's a very wet, miserable South London day here. I was about to say where I live exactly and had to stop myself there. Can you imagine if my... Oh, gosh, can you imagine? Rum Scully has said Villa sold their second striker for 75 million. How much will we get for ours? Richie was appalling last night, wasn't he? He's a really poor footballer, Richarlison. It is what it is, right? It is what it is with him, but he's a very, very poor footballer. Look, only Spurs could spend 55, 60 million on someone like Richarlison. But it is what it is. So let me know. There seems to be a lot of debate about how good Tell is. Lots of people are saying, oh my God, he's absolutely quality. He's brilliant. Other people are saying, nah, he's not really done a lot. He's not very good. Where do you all stand with it? I put him into the exciting bracket, but not a lot of experience bracket, and it's one of those ones where if you had signed Tell, imagine back in the day when you had Son and Kane up top, right? And I mean, like in their peak. Imagine then you said, right, Tell's going to go and play with those two. Tell's going to be the third one with those two. You'd say, look who he's learning off. Now I look at it and go, is this the right time? But hey, it looks like that's the only person we've bid for. As far as I can see, this looks like the only player we've bid for or got a current bid in for at the moment. So let's see what the plan is. If we don't get him, we still could get him. Yeah, I mean, Champions League and a great manager. I mean, this is when we talk about Paul, this is what I mean. When we talk about Paul, it's the manager as well, right? I think Unai Emery is a very well-respected manager across world football. Josh has said, thing is, Richie is so stubborn. Could easily get 40, 50 million from Saudi. Yes, I think what you've got to understand here, though, sorry, not you, people, is when we talk about just sell players to Saudi, they have to want to go, right? Spurs can accept the offer. If the player doesn't want to go, the player doesn't go. And not all players will want to go there. Be Banjo, yeah, but if you're buying Son to teach him, how are Son and Tell both getting in the 11? This is what I mean. At the moment, he would be in Son's position, right? Yeah, I don't know. For me, it just feels all a bit, we seem to get these players at the wrong time. Richest man, yeah, quite possibly. Think Tell is better than what we have. Here's a question for you all. Not what would you do, but if Tell signed, do you think that he would play as well as Son? Do you think he would sit on the bench behind Son? Or do you think he would take Son's place? Not what you would do, what Ange will do. What do you reckon? John C13 has said deadline day show will send my anger levels through the roof, seeing everyone else spending, but not us. Well, look, we've got 3 days after today, right? We've got 4 full days to do business. Let's see what happens. I'm just refreshing all the main players to see whether or not there's been any transfer news. At the moment, nothing breaking. Arsenal's women have signed Jenna Nigshwanga from Gotham FC. So the Arsenal's women are making some signings. Heard on TalkSport yesterday, someone saying Spurs would take Connor Cody from Leicester as a defender backup. Years ago, I would have, not now. Years ago, I think if we get to the stage where we're taking Connor Cody, by the way, a few years ago, I definitely would have. Bless me. Not now. Would you? Would you, Keith? Quinny said, is Tell good enough to start ahead of Johnson, Richie Moore? Sonny will be sold in the summer. Well, I guess that's the question. I guess the question is, the answer is yes. But we'll see, right? Listen, we'll see how this all pans out. I've got a feeling we all know what's going to happen here. I'll be surprised if he picks Tottenham, but we'll see. Let's go. Teague has put in a super sticker. Thank you so much, Teague. Really appreciate that. That's very, very generous of you. Thank you. The Sanctuary of Seven has said, if Tell joins, it shows he has no ambitions. There's that way of looking at it. I mean, let's be fair. If a player like Tell signs, he'll be using us as a stepping stone. Sorry, I know that sounds bad, but he would be, right? Big up to you, Sanctuary 7. Really appreciate that. Neil Kingswell, big up to you. Neil has become a new member with his Levy Out sign. Levy Out every single day. Absolutely. So, Neil, thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. I really appreciate that. And Bella's become a YouTube member as well. Thank you very much. We're growing. The channel is growing. And my earache is still there from yesterday. Big up to you, Bella. Thank you for all your support on the channel. Really appreciate it. Nick Seath, big up to you, Nick. Thank you very much for the super chat. Has said Tell terrorized our defense in pre-season. Yes, he did. I think I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm just saying at some point I would like us to buy some seasoned pros. If you look back at our last 10 signings, how many of them have actually been seasoned pros? Solanke? I mean, are we calling Dragusin? Was he a seasoned pro? I mean, you know what I mean? You go back to not many, right? Not many. I hear you. Listen, I'm not saying I don't want him. He's a good player, but we'll see. We'll see on that front. And big up to a user. Said, morning, Savva. Good morning to you. Happy Friday to you as well. I say we should move on from Tell. He ain't coming. Seems like he wants United. We need to move on. This is Kolo Mawani repeat. Now, look, this is always the danger, right? But all the while that we're in there and we've had terms agreed, I get why they're sticking with it. But it all depends. Look, we don't know, right? We don't know. Spurs might have said to Tell, we guarantee you a game every week, right? We guarantee you 90 minutes every week. Villa, Man United, they might say, we can't guarantee you that. But Villa might say, well, we guarantee you Champions League football. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Man United will use their pulling power of the size of their club. New manager project. I don't know. So let's see who offers what. But thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Thank you to all the super chats. Please smash the like button. 165. We should be on 250 easily. And let's keep subscribing, people. We have just gone past 16,250. So thank you very much. Really, really do appreciate that. Let's have a look what you all think about if Tell comes in. You know, I said, if we get Tell 50 million, does that mean Postecoglou is staying? You've got to remember the 50 million would be offset against the Harry Kane money. You've got to remember that. And I don't think so. I mean, I think if you bring in a player like that, any manager can manage with them, right? I don't know. I hope not. I hope he's not here that long. Sit behind Son, says Tim. Material said, when Spurs get a result, even an insignificant one, Levy stops operating smoothly with the transfers. When has he ever operated smoothly with the transfers, though? I mean, I hear you, but I don't remember the last time he operated smoothly with them. Benched for a 50 million player. He sits behind Son. Don't think Ange will give him Son's position unless he is willing to change. Yeah, look, and again, this throws another narrative into the mix, doesn't it? That this is the captain we're talking about. This is the captain of Tottenham. Unless does Tell go to the right-hand side? Does Tell go through the middle? I'm just surmising. Harry Redknapp is on the TV. Come on, Harry. Come back and take us over. Jamie Redknapp is on the screen as well at the moment. Ghosted has said, would rather have Tell right wing than Johnson or Werner. There is obviously that. Does he play Son left, Solanke, Tell? So, look, there's lots of options. Josh has said, can he play on the right? Because we already have Mikey, Son, Odegaard and Richie for the left and only Johnson, Kulu for the right. Yeah, look, this is going to be interesting to see, isn't it? Sit on the bench, sit behind Sonny. Tell should start ahead of Son, but won't. And that would be a little bit of my worry, if I'm completely honest with you, Mark. Martin Neville said, if Tell signs, what about Mikey Moore? Well, look, I think we've got to remember Mikey Moore is 17. But it does bring out a really good point, Martin, doesn't it? That if you sign Tell, you've then got Tell, Son, Moore, Odegaard, Yang. And imagine we don't get in Europe next year. It's a lot of players for one position. But I would guess that Sonny, I reckon, will be sold in the summer. Maybe Yang has another loan next year. Maybe Mikey Moore goes on loan next year. Who knows? As with anything, a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, let's hope that Tell's got good hamstrings. See, but again, do we really want to write off a £50 million player as a super sub? Got to ask those questions, haven't you? It's going to be interesting. So we can play Kulu in the centre behind the striker. Then we will have more possession. It'll be very hard to play through the middle. Yeah, when you say have more possession, Kulu's given the ball away more than any other player in the Premier League this season. So playing him in the middle, for me, he gives it away a lot there. I hear what you're saying. For me, I just think Kulu's a little bit overrated, but that's only my opinion. Vagabrugs, big up to you, my man. So what do you mean, no ambition? Spurs are going for the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Listen, you leave us alone. We're going to go to Liverpool next week and win 3-0 away at Anfield. We'll see. We'll see, won't we, how we do in those cup competitions. Perisic, God, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, Perisic was there as well, wasn't he? Tell's already won trophies. Yep. Okay. The future is so bright, we've got to wear shades. Oh, do you know what? Our future is always bright, and nothing ever comes to fruition, does it? Hey, by the way, Arsenal Man City Sunday, that should be an interesting game. I'll be doing a watch along. Is that Sunday? Sorry. No, I won't. No, I won't. Sorry. Ignore me. I will not be doing a watch along for that. I don't think Tell would want to commit permanently to Spurs in their current state in a January window. Should go for Kulu-esque loan deal, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, who? The question I'll ask you is who? Who do you think? I'm just asking for some names that you think would be good. Let me know. Who do you think? Question from Daniel Harris said, with the attention the Tell story is getting, if he rejects us, does that damage our reputation even more and put other players off? I don't know. I mean, I think like this. I feel like this is a bit of an anomaly, right? It feels like a bit of an anomaly in the fact that he's sought after, because I don't think there's many players out there that will move in the January window. I don't think I remember a player that's ever been this sought after by 5, 6, 7 clubs at the same time at that age. We'll see. We'll see. I don't mind young players filling positions like the wing, but really need a solid pro in the holding midfield position, a commanding type. Oh my God, Albie. We've said this for years, haven't we? Savva, it's only a youth project. Of course, we're only buying kids. Oh, don't. Oh, don't. Good job we built the £1 billion stadium, wasn't it, for a youth project? A good job I put this show on for so few likes. Shave your head. No, no one needs to see me with a shaved head. No. Albia said, Son can't back up more than one decent game a week. Right. So before we move on from Tell, I'm going to ask you this question. Simple yes or no. By Monday night. Oh, hang on. Just quickly. Jason, how we doing, bro? Love you, dude. Said to not have signed somebody by now, it's disgraceful. Shows you how much contempt Levy has for the fans. Levy out, Enoch out. Jason, How many years ago were we leaving Nick out? 15? When did we first meet each other? Mate, yeah, it's madness. Big up to you, my man. The question, before we move on from Tell, yes, they have. They have. Yes, Plettenberger said they have. Before we move on from no. This isn't true. Sorry, you don't give the ball away that much by trying things. De Bruyne tries things, doesn't give the ball away that much. Foden, no. I see a lot of the time he loses possession because he's very slow on the ball, lackadaisical. I'm sorry, we can't just say he's always trying things. What does that tell you? Multiple clubs after Tell is that multiple clubs need some bodies in. That's what that tells me. Let's see. Listen, I'm not doubting that he's not a good player, but I just need, when are we going to get some senior pros? When are we going to get some senior pros? I don't know what we're doing at the moment. Yes or no in the chat. Monday night, will Tell be a Spurs player? By midnight on Monday night, the shut of the transfer window, 11 p.m., whatever it is, will Tell be a Spurs player? Yes or no? It's that simple. No. Savva, who do you rate higher than Kulu at those positions at Tottenham? James Maddison is the playmaker. James Maddison should be the one behind the striker. James Maddison is the creator. James Maddison should be playing that position. It's that simple for me. Only my opinion. He's a creator throughout his whole career. He's got loads of assists and goals. It just makes sense. No. Any yeses? No. Absolutely, Philly. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you. Giving you shows every morning. No. Philly. Oh, Phil, come on, mate. Give an answer. No. Yeah, okay. Like Sean's gone in with a yes. Vagabros has gone with a hell no. No. Daniel will save the day. Go on, Levy. It makes me laugh. I don't even think this deal saves the day. For me, I don't think this changes anything about how we play and how easy we are to beat. I really don't. It might give us a few more goals going forward, but I don't think it changes anything. Maybe you call me pessimistic, but I just can't see it. Ange out, Levy out every single day. Hell no, he's off to Manchester or Woolwich. No, don't want Man U sloppy seconds. Okay. I don't know. Why would he be a Man U sloppy second? Maybe. Come on. No. Reese has said, we buy young kids because seasoned pros would clash with Ange and challenge his tactics. Quite possibly. Maddison is weak and does nothing for the midfield. Yeah, that's because he's a playmaker. He's a playmaker, not a central midfielder. When you're saying he's weak, he's lost the ball less than all the other players in the team this season. He can't be that weak. I see Kulu get muscled off the ball every game, but Maddison's the weak one. Our fans, we are a special breed, people. We are a special breed. Listen, we've got a playmaker who's got loads of goals and assists in his Premier League career, and we want him to be the problem. Sure. Yeah, nah. Okay, good. Never. Unlikely based on our history. Yeah, it's just who we are. He will be a Premier League player by Monday. Big up, Quinny. Yeah, he probably will be. Matt wants to be different. So, yes, okay. Olmo said, no, it's already been confirmed that he wants to play for Man United. Olmo, it's been confirmed he wants to play for Man United. By who? By who? Whom? Whom has confirmed such a rumor? Big up Sam has said never. Oh, gosh, I don't want Ange in 3 years. Oh, gosh, I can't put up another 3 years of this manager and these tactics. Yeah. No. Pato will be player on Monday night. Pato? Who's Pato? Need a 6. Yeah, Ange doesn't agree. And this is the mad thing. Maddison is incredibly overrated. Sure, but he gets great numbers, doesn't he, most seasons? So if you're saying that, Kulusevski, as I said, loses the ball more than any other player in the Premier League. You know, it's It's madness. It's madness. We really do put down some good players. Sean has said, I'll believe it, though, when he's holding the shirt. Until then, it just feels like the Dybala saga. Dybala, a player we should have been all over. Again, this is what makes you laugh. Like, this is what makes you laugh. If we look at James Maddison this season, right? Oh, my gosh. By the way, he plays less than the rest. James Maddison's got 12 goal contributions in the Premier League, right? In Europe, he's got 3 goal contributions in 6 games. So he's got 15 goal contributions across 27 games. I mean, and we're going, oh, he's overrated. He's not very good. Napoli and St. Maximin. Yeah, St. Maximin's an interesting one. For me, he falls into the Traore of Fulham category. Really exciting to watch. 0 end product for me. That's just my opinion. Napoli have made contact with Al Ali for St. Maximin with loan proposal. I'll take him on loan. Negotiations ongoing. Napoli also open talks with Anderlecht for Amazu. And Napoli are busy, aren't they? They are a busy, busy club. Vagabruce, I don't understand the club. Don't worry. Yeah, I agree. I agree. His injury record, sure. If we're going to throw that in, Nige, I never get it. I will never understand it. The stick this man gets is absolutely madness. Ethan has said Maddison is a playmaker, whereas I see Kulu more in the more good. Yes, right, Ethan. This is the difference. I completely agree with you. I completely agree. I think they're 2 very different footballers. Maddison, for me, is a playmaker. When people go, oh, but in central midfield, he doesn't track. He's a playmaker. I don't want him in central midfield. I want him in a playmaker position. Absolutely. And no, absolutely we are. Glenn Hoddle said it. A couple of months back. He said, with a player like Maddison, you've got to get him in behind the striker and leave him there. Let him do his thing. Don't crowd his area. But hey, it is what it is. Wenger out. Okay. Sure. Big up to Tweak. Thank you very much. Who has become a YouTube member. Thank you very much. That's the 4th new member today. Very, very generous of you. And please do keep smashing that like and subscribe. Really appreciate you, Tweak. Thank you very much for that. Let's go back to the comments, shall we? I'll try and get to as many as possible. I like to pride myself as one of the only YouTubers that does try. Albie, completely agree. But it's funny, isn't it? Kulu is heralded as this great footballer. Maddison gets all the stick. I don't get it. I'm not saying Kulu should get loads of stick. I just don't get it. Exactly, Ashley. Maddison should not be having to worry about defending, but the shocking players behind him mean he's spending less time in his supposed position. Also, you look at the fullbacks; they're always in his position. Porro's always in midfield. Adogi's always in midfield. If I'm Maddison, I'm saying, get away from me. Give me the ball and let me dictate. That's what I'd be doing. We're the only club that has a playmaker like this, and doesn't let him just be a playmaker. Sure, but I could say the same with a lot of players that do that, right? Josh has said Maddison 0.7 goal assist per 90, Kulu 0.6 per 90, closer than I thought it was. It's close, but you've got to remember, Maddison for me is a playmaker. As I said, he's an out-and-out playmaker. He's the playmaker. Come on, in context across De Bruyne's career. Come on, man. Come on. Let's look. I like Kulu, I do, but I think he's another one that's just put on this pedestal. For me, it's when you give the ball away as much as this man does. It's every game with Kulu. Every game. In the Prem, Maddison has 6 assists and 9 goals behind the striker. Kulu has 9. It's mainly apps. But Materio, sorry, you always do this. But the problem is Maddison's not playing mainly behind the striker. This is where it's disingenuous. Watch. He's not mainly behind the striker. He's not mainly behind the striker. So this is disingenuous. And people, hang on. By the way, that's not true. These stats aren't true. You've made these up. Kulu hasn't got 9 assists and 8 goals in the Premier League. He's got 6 goals and 4 assists. He's got 6 goals and 4 assists. And Maddison, I think you've got Maddison's wrong as well. Maddison in the Premier League has got 8 goals and 4 assists. So I feel like you've kind of made that up a little bit there. Stats don't lie, but your stats do because you've got them wrong. You've got to look. Look, I mean, we've got people saying he isn't very good. I agree. You watch our games lately without Maddison, right? There's no creativity. Against Leicester, no creativity. Last night, no creativity. Right. It's my face. Yeah, this is where it gets silly. You know, so why are you going to get rude? Okay, so why are you going to get rude? You know so little about football. Just running your mouth all day about football does not make up for knowledge. Mate, everyone's just watched you put in the wrong stats, right? Do you know what? Phil, he's right. Phil, you're right. If people like Materio want to be a prick, I won't do this. I won't interact with people in the chat, right? I am one of the very few YouTubers that come on and do this with you for hours. And this is how people want to talk to me. Right? Fair enough. Materio, if you want to be like that, you'll be blocked. Right? See, look, don't try and squeal around that he does, but in a free role. The problem is Maddison isn't. The stats might be off Google, but you've got them wrong. Right? The stats have got you wrong. I'll show you. In the Premier League, James Maddison, here we go. James Maddison has 8 goals and 4 assists. Right? 8 goals and 4 assists. Now, if we look at Kulu, I reckon it's going to be probably weighted the other way. Kulusevski's got 6 goals and 4 assists. So in the Premier League, in a lot less minutes, James Maddison's got more goal contribution than Kulusevski. No, Materio, they're not right. Look, I don't know. Can anyone see that? Look at the top, Tottenham. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Look at the top. That's Kulu. 6 goals, 4 assists, right? Maddison. Again, this Materio guy is now turning into an idiot troll, right? Here we go. James Maddison. Let me see that. 8 goals, 4 assists. So it's madness. Exactly. It's madness. Oh, of course, none of them are Glenn Hoddle. But the problem is, I just can't stand people that are first of all, they're wrong. And then he wants to talk about me running my mouth. Isn't this my channel? Do you not want me to have my channel where I interact with people? Look, and again, when you look at James Maddison's career, look at his goal contributions at Leicester. In his last 65 Premier League games for Leicester, he got 40 goal contributions in 65 games for Leicester in the Premier League. And that's his last 65 games, right? I don't understand why such hate towards him. Right, Greg. Absolutely. The show last night, there was no creativity from the middle of the pitch. Absolutely, which is why he's got to play. Savva, bring up my message again. Madders in 377 has 92 goal involvement in his career to date. Mate, give your head a wobble. Look, again, this is it. He's got a lot of goals, a lot of assists, and then people want to lie and make up stats. It just seems weird. Absolutely, it does go to show. There you go. This season, Kulu has played 36 games, scored 9, assisted 9. Maddison has played 31, scored 9 and assisted 6. Mate, do you know what? I think they're very different players. For me, I think the problem is he's got to try and find a way to play both of them. But what I would say is you've got to get Maddison in the playmaker role. Sorry. You've got to get a way to get Maddison in the playmaker role. This isn't true either, is it? Maddison has been relegated twice from the Premier League. Twice. I mean, are we going by so players? Right. Okay. So cool. So let's ask a question. So if Spurs got relegated this year, would we now be saying Kulu's a bad player because Spurs went down? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Material, I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you facts. Because you're getting angry and saying BS doesn't make you right. You got your stats wrong. It's okay. It's okay. You got your stats wrong. See you later, mate. See you later. I don't know why you got very rude. I bring up your comments. I bring up your comments. You got your details wrong. People have shown you that, and now you're getting aggy. As I said, you could come on, Materio, and you can have this chat, but you won't. It's easy to be a big man behind a keyboard. Relegated with Norwich. Well, back in 2017-18. When was he relegated with Norwich? Let's have a look. Let's have a look, shall we? 1 second. Let's have a look. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't remember it. So James Maddison, early life club career. Norwich Maddison was someone made his debut. He followed this. Yeah. After returning from his loan, Aberdeen, Maddison made his first league appearance for Norwich. Okay, so after returning from his loan spell, I don't think he did. Maddison signed. All right, here we go. So Maddison signed for Premier League club Norwich on the 1st of November 2016 on a 3.5-year deal, but was immediately loaned back to Coventry for the remainder of the season. Maddison made his debut for Norwich on the 23rd of August in a 2016-17 Europa League tie against his former team. After returning from his loan at Aberdeen, Maddison made his first league appearance for Norwich 2016. Right, so we're talking about as a kid, right? With the arrival of Daniel Farker, Maddison was given regular starts. Right, so he wasn't a regular, was he, when they got relegated and he was a kid? Right, I mean, I'm not sure we can really throw that at him as a thing. Oh, Ericsson. Oh, yeah, this is Ericsson. Ericsson all day, every day. All day, every day. Ericsson pisses over both of them. For me, all day, every day. Wow, I just don't know. Listen, I've said B Banjo. For me, they both need to play. I just think you've got to get Maddison in the creative position. It's funny because when you watch Spurs games without Maddison, we have no creativity through the middle. Look at last night. Look at the other day against Leicester City. No creativity coming through the middle of the park. I just think I don't think it matters about who's better. We're saying he's been more consistent. I think Kulu's been pretty poor for a while now. But on the eye, when I watch Kulu, he gives the ball away far too much for me to be consistent. Just my opinion. I think we've got a lot of players that we want to make better than they are. Anyway, hopefully it looks like we've lost Materio now. Trolls that would never come on and actually have a conversation. Ericsson, now we're talking about a player. There you go. And again, context is important. Look at the difference in minutes. Absolutely. Some Spurs fans, Maddison agenda has changed. They say he's inconsistent, but when Kulu has a bad game, he's right. Whenever players like Kulu have a bad game, they're tired. When James Maddison does, he's not interested. He's down tools. It's so funny, isn't it? It's absolutely mad how the shoe doesn't fit for all. Correct. He is one of the few players who can beat a low block because he's got that ball in his feet. I wouldn't play Kulu as a number 10, and that's the point. I wouldn't play with him like a number 10. I would play both of them, but I wouldn't play. I would have Kulu coming off the right, and I'd have, for me, I just have them interchanging across the behind the striker. I mean, I feel like a good manager will get the best out of both of them. Look how Man City have managed to get so many creative players in their teams over the years. No one ever says, oh, he can't play because he plays. They find a way. They find a formula. This manager, though, doesn't have that in his locker. I tell you what, this sums it up. For me, do you know what, Greg? I should have just started with this. Yes, I think unless you play him as a number 10, you're not going to. I completely agree with you. All these fans saying, oh, he doesn't do anything in midfield. I don't want him in midfield. That's what Bentancur, Basuma, Sarr, that's what these boys are for. I don't want him in central midfield. I want him as a playmaker. When we signed him, he had some of the best goal contributions in the country for a reason. Not you, mate. Not you. You weren't being rude to me. No, that Materio, who's now gone. But hey, listen, I do think as well, when we say things like on the eye, I mean, my eye tells me that Kulu loses the ball a lot. My eye tells me that Brennan Johnson can't beat a man, but they've got some good stats. So it's very difficult, isn't it? No way. No, is he really? Hang on. Who said this? Who has said this? Let's move on from Maddison. Who has said that Radu is out for a year? That's got to be fake news, isn't it? Who has said this, please? Where did we see this? Where, right. Laszlo, where are you getting this information? Because if he is out for a year, yeah, I haven't seen anything, Ash, anywhere. If he is out for a year, then you've got to. If he is out for a year, then you've got to buy another centre half. Here he is. No, it's not working. Here he is.
Morning.
Lubo's back for another rumble in the jungle. How are you, mate?
Good. You?
All yeah, good, man. Good. Reports. I say reports. Somebody's trolling us, telling us that Radu Dragosin is out for a year. I don't believe that. Do you?
Unless he's part of Tottenham's medical team, I'm not sure how he would know that.
Yeah, a year. If
the knee's swollen, they'll ice pack it and they'll wait for the swelling to go down before they give him a scan. So difficult to comprehend a definitive position like that. Evidently, he jarred his knee yesterday. That was the report that came out.
Yeah, so, it didn't look like a kind of. I mean, a year is a very specific time, isn't it? Normally they say they're out for the season or they're out for 9 months. But yeah, Lubo. So it's Friday morning. Let's not rehash last night. We did that last night. I want to talk to you, Lubo, about are you going to Brentford on Sunday? You going?
No. Missed out on loyalty points. No. 30 get 1,700. I think it's about 1,700. 30% go to premium corporate and players. So there's 1,200, and I'm about 1,600 on the list. So when it's that small, I always miss out by a few. But never mind. I think it's on.
It means Sky. We get to spend more time with you on Sunday, Lubo. That's what it means.
Absolutely. Why not? Why not?
Look, let's. I'll tell you what. Let's quickly talk about the Radu situation, and then we'll talk about Brentford. If Radu Dragosin is out for a period of time, I'm not saying a year, but if we get the message that he's out for 10 to 12 weeks, in your opinion, will Spurs learn and either recall Ashley Phillips or make a last-ditch attempt to loan a centre-back in the last 3-4 days of the window?
I think he'll go out to try and get a loan in. If he wanted Phillips, he'd have pulled him back by now, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
To me,
I agree.
And if he rated him, he wouldn't have sent him out in the first place. So
yeah, agreed.
For me, while Angie's at the club, Phillips doesn't have a future, does he? Particularly.
I agree. I mean, if you've had a centre-back injury crisis and you are still not being recalled from your loan, it kind of tells you something. But it would be a huge mistake. I'll talk in and out because Lubo, as long as he's not looking at the screen, I'm happy for him to be on. As soon as he looks at the screen, I'm going to cut him off for driving and being naughty. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, if Radu Dragosin, guys and girls, if he is out even for 2-3 months, we've got to go and get another. We've got to go and get another centre back, haven't we, people? We've really got to get another centre back in. It would be very Spursy to not, and then get to the stage where Van de Ven and Romero gets injured again, and we're all going, but they're injured. Why are we not getting a centre back in any of these windows?
I don't think he's being backed properly.
But he came out and said he didn't want one.
Well,
didn't
listen, what he says and what he wants for me are two different things.
Sure.
Because he's not going to get involved in a verbal spat with Levy, is he? like
true.
like Conte did. So for me, I don't believe a word he says. When he said he's happy with the window last summer, we know he was after Gallagher all summer. We know the money was there. We know the money was there for Neto in the summer, and Spurs got beaten to Neto by Chelsea. And I was told that Odegaard wasn't bought because of Neto going to Chelsea. He wanted both. So last summer the money was there. This window, I just think I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be the same. Well, there never has been the interest from the club on the footballing side. I think the owners are more interested in everything else that's going on, to be honest, trying to raise money for hotels, trying to raise money to invest in Whitewebb's golf course that they bought, that they want to renovate for the NFL, for an NFL training ground and for a ladies football pitch. For me, there's no real interest from the owners in the footballing side at the moment. Yeah, and I think things like Tell, I just think are panic situations because of where we are in the league, and only because Bayern Munich owe us money. I don't, if Munich didn't owe us money, I don't think we'd be there.
I completely agree with you. Listen, we don't always agree, but I completely agree with you on this one. See, I look at somebody like Tomori at AC Milan, and for me, that just seems like a really sensible signing. An England international. He's won leagues with Milan. He's got top flight experience, Champions League experience, wants to come back to London. For me, that would be the sort of centre-back where I go, yeah, bring him in. That for me isn't cover for the other two. That for me is now competition.
No, absolutely. There's no way he's a backup. You put him in the same bracket as Romero and Van der Ven.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it allows you to play a free, Lubo, and that would allow you to play a back three, wouldn't it, if you needed to?
And for me, Tomori is a better centre back than Dragusin. So.
Oh yeah, I think he's a better centre back than Van der Ven.
From what I've seen of him,
to be brutally honest. I think he's a good player, old Tomori. But I'm not saying it has to be him, Lubo. But there are players out there. There are loads of players out there. You look at Kevin Danso, who's available. He's a good centre back. I'm not saying he's going to pull up trees or he's the greatest centre back in the world, but we don't seem to be in for anybody that isn't a winger. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're a midfielder or a centre half, you're not wanted.
Well, it's a strange one. They seem to go after sort of wingers and forwards. Having said that, I put on the WhatsApp group, for me, we need a centre back stroke left back to come in, someone that can cover both positions. We need 3 midfielders for me, because those three are not good enough. I'm not talking about Maddison and Kulusevski. Basuma, Sarr and Bentancur, for me, are just not good enough. And if we want to get back to where we were challenging, like in the Poch years, whether it's with this manager, this different manager, this owner, a different owner, I think we need far better midfield players. And we're short up front, aren't we? Which is strange to say because of the goals we've scored. But the goals have come in a small percentage of games. It's not like we've scored 42 in the league and they've been spread over 20 of the 23 games.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'll come back to that.
We're short up front as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll come back to that. By the way, Phil, when I said about Tomori being better than Van der Ven, I think it goes to what we spoke about on the show last night. I've seen Tomori play in a back three and a back two as a centre half and just defend. I've not seen Van der Ven have to do that. I've seen Van der Ven be the main man because of his recovery tackles. But I think Tomori's a very good centre half that does his job. No ifs, buts, maybes, not recoveries. I think he's a much better player. I think he's shown it on the world stage more than Mickey Van der Ven has. Mickey Van der Ven's played how many games for Tottenham? And we've put him on this pedestal. Tomori's won league titles in Italy. Tomori's played for England. Look, I'm not saying Van der Ven's a bad player at all, but I'm saying Van der Ven, we've not seen him as an out-and-out centre-back in a 4. We talked about this last night, didn't we, Lubo? So it looks like Lubo's camera's he's
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
By the way, I'm not saying
No,
people.
you've got your back. I've got your back.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not saying, by the way, Van der Ven's bad. I think people misconstrue me, but I feel like we've put him on a pedestal. I want to see him, like you said, Lubo, last night. I want to see him in a back four, a proper back four.
What we've done, what Ange has done, is he's playing him to his major strength, which is his speed. So he's put him in a position where he's having to make many recovery runs at pace, and because he's so fast, he's winning pretty much every single battle. So that's just one side of defending.
Sure.
Let's see how he is. Let's see how he is. Like you know, on a 1-to-1 with a tricky winger or a tricky striker, you know, who's strong, muscly, can hold him off, is bearing down on goals. So, you know, someone like a Haaland. Let's see how he goes with a Haaland, for argument's sake. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah. And as I said, yeah, look, VDV's still a youngish centre half. He's got time to learn and grow. The problem is, we're literally, I tell you what, this comment sums it all up. He said, literally, VDV is a sweeper, essentially. What we're seeing is VDV mopping up the tactics. What I want to see is, I want to see all centre halves in a flat back four. You know, like, look at Michael Dawson. If I said to you right now, here's a question. Who are you having in a flat back four? Dawson or Van der Ven?
That's a difficult one because Dawson was a good centre back, but I think Ledley King made him look much better.
Sure. But you know what Dawson did?
Personally,
stayed in his position, won everything in the air.
Yeah.
Could tackle like a demon. He marked. Right, like so they're very different footballers, right? I get it. They're very, very different. Totally. I want to see Van der Ven play with a manager that isn't saying, right, every game you're literally just going to be recovering. Because I think people are forgetting, like when people are saying Van der Ven easily, I think people are suddenly forgetting how good Michael Dawson was for many years at Tottenham Hotspur. I think we're going with recency bias. For me, I think Van der Ven's got a lot to learn about the art of defending, Ian. I'm not knocking him. I think he's got a lot to learn. And I don't think, we go back to this old conversation, Ian, I don't think he's going to get that opportunity under Ange. I really don't.
No, he won't. But I still think if Ange loses the next three, puts to see that, and if the clubs below are picking up points, then if you're looking at it and Spurs are 4 or 5 points off the bottom three, they're out of both cups. I think he'll pull the trigger. I do think he'll pull the trigger.
Hopefully. And yeah, singularity. Absolutely. Yeah, the flat back four will not happen with Ange. But for me, I want to judge centre-backs on what they do when they are defending. Like, not just, we know Van der Ven's quick. We know he's quick. But I want to see, what do you do when you say, right, you're not just going to be mopping up balls over the top. You're now marking a centre-forward, game in, game out. I want to see that because if you look at the biggest wins we've had this season, it's been when Van der Ven hasn't played and we haven't had to do the recoveries. Just saying. # just saying. I'm not knocking him. I think people think if you critique a player, you're knocking them. I'm not. Reezy has said VDV's strength is his recovery speed. Why not play to it? Because Reezy, the difference is Van der Ven's one person in a system. You can't have a system that gears around one player. No. You're not. No, Phil, you don't listen very well. I'm not doubting that he can't play in a flat back four. I want to see it. Again, evidence, Phil. I want to see it. You're not listening. I'm not saying he can't. I want to see it. I want to be proven that he can do it. And as I said, when I watch Tomori for me marks his man very well. Can play in a 2 or a 3. He's a very good defender. He's got some pace on him as well. Gets himself out of trouble. I would get someone like a Tomori and play a back 3, but that's just me. Man City just drew against Real Madrid in the Champions League. What a belter of a game that's going to be. Wow. Man City versus... I mean, Ian, just quickly onto that. That's what we're talking about, right? 2 games, one at Etihad, one at the Bernabeu. That's a great game, isn't it?
I think you've listen. That's probably the game of the competition, but
Yeah.
I can't see City in their current form going forward. They just about beat Bruges, didn't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, they beat Bruges 3-1.
They haven't been great in the league. You know, okay, they won 6. You've got to fancy Real Madrid in that one, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't think Real Madrid are that
me?
great. I'll be honest. I think it's going to be I think there's going to be a lot of games. I think there's going to be a lot of games. A lot of goals in those 2 games. Real Madrid for me are they're very boring to watch. I will say that Real Madrid, they bore me, but they have that knack in Europe, don't they? But what Man City have got is goals. The question is, can Marmoush, etc., can they play in that game?
Yes, they can.
They can?
The Champions League must be the same as, having said that, he played for Frankfurt, but he played for Frankfurt in the Europa, didn't he? So, yes, he can.
Yeah.
Different competition. So, providing he's not cup tied, which he's not, all the teams get to pick a new squad from now. So it's going to be interesting at the end of this, you know, in 3 or 4 days' time when our window finishes, who goes out and who comes in. Because at the moment, you're looking at, he's got to find spaces for Spence and Reguilon, that's for sure. So and he's got to find a space for Kinski as well. Unless he leaves Kinski out of the European squad. So he's got to get a shot of 2 players, isn't he? At least.
Celtic will play Bayern Munich. Harry and Eric are going up to Scotland.
Brilliant.
Look, Philly. By the way, would I like Mark Guehi at Spurs? Yeah. Right. Now ask yourself a question, Philly. How much are Crystal Palace going to ask for Mark Guehi? 75, 80?
Maybe about 70.
Right. Now ask yourself who our chairman is.
No, of course. That's the issue, isn't
right,
it?
this is why I say Tomori. I like Guehi, but let's be fair, Newcastle tried to get him at 65, 70 million, couldn't get him. If we got him, I'd be absolutely stunned that we'd paid that much money. But Bayern Munich v Celtic, Man City v Real Madrid. Brentford away. What are you expecting, Lubo? What are we expecting from Brentford away?
I expect a tight game, but I don't see us getting anything. I can't see it. I just think they'll be too good. You don't know. Listen, maybe Romero will be back. I don't know. But I mean, again, if you're going to bring Romero back in, you bring him in, you're playing for 45 minutes because he needs to get minutes in his legs before Anfield. Because I wouldn't honestly listen. However much I like the kid, he's a centre midfielder. I wouldn't want Gray playing at Anfield next Thursday at centre back. I want Romero and Van der Ven there for us to have any chance. So Dragerson, we know, is out. Davis is your third. I wouldn't want Davis at Anfield, to be honest. I'd want Porro and Spence as your I say fullbacks, inverted fullbacks. And that for me, it's Porro. I'd have Kinski in goal, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, and Spence. But Romero needs minutes at Brentford if he's going to play on Thursday. You can't just throw him into that.
I completely agree. Yeah, if you stick a player in who's fresh, oh, hang on, here we go. Let's go to a bigger screen there. We've got Jay here. If you throw in a player who's been out injured for a couple of months, suddenly against Mo Salah, Luis Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, it's a big ask, isn't it? It's a really big ask.
Yeah. I expect a 3-goal defeat next Thursday. Anything less, I'll be surprised. Anything less will be a good performance. To be fair. Big up to Jay. Just quickly before I bring Jay in, just so you know, so the Champions League draw is this. It is Brest versus
Paris Saint-Germain, Man City versus Real Madrid, Monaco versus Benfica, Celtic versus Bayern München, Club Bruges via Atalanta, Juve PSV, Sporting Dortmund. Hope Sporting get battered after ruining my bet the other night. And Feyenoord versus AC Milan. Look, Jay, we're just talking about Brentford away this weekend. For all the fun and games we have with beating Hoffenheim and Tamworth and Elfsborg, we've got to pick up some wins in the Premier League, haven't we? Because, like Lubo said, if we don't pick up anything here, and Ipswich, Wolves, Everton, Leicester, if some of these guys start picking up points, it's starting to be a little bit squeaky bum time, isn't it?
Absolutely. First of all, big up Savva, big up Lubo, big up the chat as well, people. Make sure you're smashing.
How you doing, matey?
Pay your rent. I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Yeah, look, I think it's no secret to anyone that our league form has been far from good enough this season. And what for me was disappointed me is like we'll go out and we'll beat an Hoffenheim or we'll beat an Elfsborg, but we don't build on it. We don't go and build on that performance. Kind of use that to kind of say, all right, look, boys, we can win games of football. We can win games of football, whether it's Elfsborg or not. We can go out there and put on a show. So why can't we, continue this form into the league, which is my thing. And in regards to the Brentford game, listen, overconfidence breeds complacency. I know a lot of Tottenham fans are excited from last night, and rightly so. Enjoy the win, enjoy it. You can feel the pride. I was in the ground, and when Ajayi scored that goal last night, I think everyone in that South stand had a massive smile on their face because they're really happy for the youngsters. But again, now I don't want this to now kind of paper over the cracks that we are struggling right now and that we still haven't signed anyone. We have to go into this Brentford game being really careful, really, really careful, because they can get at us, man. One ball through the middle, and with Wissa and Mbomo running onto it, mate.
Oh, God, yeah.
They can cause us real problems. And I even look at their back line. I know they've shipped in a few goals, but they're going to want... They're not going to let us put crosses into the box. They're going to be rigid. They're going to make a lot of fouls, slow the game down. They're going to be annoying. I can already tell that that's the type of... It's going to be a very stop-starty game. So,
and they've got what we hate, Jay. They've got players like Wissa and Mbuemo who, on the counter-attack, ball over the top, is going to be crazy. But what they have got, guys, just looking at the Premier League form table. By the way, I will be ending the show bang on 10 to 12 as I've got a meeting at 12. Brentford are joint third in the form table for home form. So Liverpool are top with 26 points. Arsenal have got 25 points at home. And then City and Brentford have both got 23 points from their home games. And when you look at the away
figure, so away form, how do we figure in terms of goals conceded? Because we must be fairly high up. We've conceded a lot more at home, haven't we? 9 or 10 more at home than we have away.
Yeah. So away from home, we've played 11, got 10 points, scored 19, conceded 14. So it's not the number of goals we're conceding away from home that seems to be the problem, but we're averaging less than 1 point a game away from home.
And 12 of those 19 are in 3 of the 11 games.
Right.
So if it takes Southampton, City, and United out, there's 12 against 0. So the rest of it's 7 against 14, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a big game though, Lubo, because Brentford. I think somebody summed it up perfectly in the chat. Let me see if I can find that comment. I think this summed it up perfectly. Where is it? Philly has said Brentford will be well rested and they will grow as the game goes on. Guys, it's a fair point, isn't it? It's the kind of game where we'll kind of come out the blocks flying, and then as the game slowly but surely goes on, we start with the wayward passes, players out of position, looking leggy, and before you know it, Brentford... Look, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm not expecting a win there. Jay, are you?
No.
Is anyone expecting to beat Brentford?
No, honestly, I think we'll be fortunate. We'll be fortunate if we go there and beat them, man. And I think, look, if I'm Thomas Frank and I'm setting my team up against this Tottenham side, I'm saying just tuck in, just sit in, just wait, keep tight, keep compact. They're gonna struggle to break us down. They don't have anyone that can pick locks and open doors and kind of create a chance from nothing. They don't have these type of players, so just they're playing games. They can't rotate their squad. They're riddled with injuries. Let's just sit in. The chances will come. They will start getting leggy. The game starts getting open. We're in a position now where we have to win games. So if we're 0-0 going into the 60th minute, 65th minute, we have to go for the game. We have to go for it. And I think that's the mindset that Ange's probably instilling in these players as well. We're going to have to go for the game. And that plays into their hands.
In relation to Brentford, I thought Ange was clever last night because you've got take out the keeper for the 10 players that start, for argument's sake. You've got 6 that only played 45 minutes.
Yeah.
In fact, take out Dragerson, you've got 5. Then you've got Spence coming back in on Sunday. So half the team will be relatively fresh, from last night. So, hopefully, he's not playing the same 11 that he started and had to play for 90 minutes yesterday. So, listen, we'll see. I don't see us getting anything from it. I think Brentford are too good at home, and we're in a really bad run in the league, and it's going to be difficult to get out of that run. I mean, the next game after that, United at home, is massive.
Well,
absolutely massive.
Just so you guys know, if Brentford were to beat us this weekend, Brentford would be 10 points clear of Tottenham Hotspur. That would be a 10-point gap. And just to confirm, Brentford are currently not even in the top half of the Premier League themselves. So Tottenham Hotspur would be 10 points off Brentford. So that means we would probably be 11, 12, 13 points off the top half of the table. Now, when I'm looking at the Premier League fixtures as well, the big games this weekend that will affect us, guys, Everton are playing Leicester. So one of those clubs, if not both of those clubs, will get a point or 3 points and close to us, right? In the other game, Wolves are at home to Aston Villa, right? If Wolves win that, as well. So, and then Ipswich have got Southampton at home. So this is a huge game because if we lose to Brentford, or even, I'm going to call it, even if we draw with Brentford, some of those teams behind us are going to put points on the table this weekend. Some of them have to. Will Ipswich lose to Southampton? Yeah. I'll be shocked if Ipswich lose at home to Southampton, but some of them are going to put points on the table. We're going to be further away from the top half than ever. It starts to become really, really untenable, guys. Then with Liverpool away in the cup next, it starts to become very untenable, doesn't it?
That's where I think he'll go. If forget Wolves for a minute, because I do think Villa will get something there. Ipswich beat Southampton and we lose, then we are five clear of Ipswich, I think.
5 points, yeah.
It's nothing. And we've got to go there after United in 3 weeks' time. So,
And people are looking at the away grounds we have to go to. We have to go to the Bridge. We still got City have to come to us. We've got to go to Anfield in the league. Like, we've got some tough fixtures coming up, man.
Yeah. Villa, West Ham.
So if you look
Brighton,
there, so our immediate Premier League games are what? Brentford followed by Man United. Is that right?
Yeah. So, followed by Ipswich away, followed by City at home, followed by Bournemouth at home, followed by Fulham away, then Chelsea away. So, Jesus.
I mean, look, so we've got 11th and 12th, the two teams directly above us. I say directly, obviously West Ham and Palace, but two of the teams directly above us in our next two games. Look, I know people are saying just forget the league and worry about the cups, but I don't know how long that theory can last if we're not winning in the Premier League. You know, we need a win more than anything for breathing space between us and the bottom. Like, if we win this weekend, let's flip it. If we win and go to 27 points, you're then 11 points clear of Wolves or Ipswich if one of them doesn't win, right? Then you can sit there and breathe a little bit. If you lose it, though, it's all very bunched up. And guys, I'm worried. I'm truly worried where the next league win is going to come from.
Well, you need in this situation, you need to be digging out.
I'm afraid
horrible 1-0 wins, don't you? And you just can't see it. The way he plays it's just not. You know, you need to play. You need to go back to a Conte or a Jose type formation and just dig out a win and battle it out and get that goal. Keep it nice and tight, even if it's a breakaway. It doesn't matter, and come away with a 1-0 win. And that's how teams in trouble get out of trouble.
We don't normally do that, though, do we, Lubo? We don't normally keep it tight and go for the 1-0 win. That's the problem, isn't it?
We don't have any leaders, and we don't have a manager.
Even if you don't want to set up with a back, five, though, go to a 4-4-2 and just say, look, everything goes through the strikers. You two run the channels. The midfield 4 sit in. Just protect that midfield. You guys are a wall. Protect our back 4. Everything go straight up to the 2 strikers. Let Johnson or Sonny run off Richie, or let Richie run off. Let Sonny run off Richie, so on and so forth. Just keep it basic. What happened to the old 4-4-2? Where has that formation gone in football now? Like, I see Unai Emery do it in Europe. He just says, you know what? Forget about it. Watkins, Duran, or whoever he plays up front with Watkins, just everyone just run, just that's going to be our outlet. I think we're too reliant on this playing out from the backs and this whole high line and aggressive attack. Yeah. We're in a position where we can't go into games with the mindset of I want to blow them away 5-0, because the flip side of that is we get blown away.
But by the way, Reezy, when you're saying can't just abandon our tactics halfway through the season, if it means restoring our Premier League, position,
keeping, yeah.
Then look, this is what I don't get. Like, it's our tactics that have got us in this situation, right? At some point, you're right, Jay. At some point, we have to turn around and forget what we all want to see as fans. We all want to see free-flowing football, which we're not seeing, by the way, but we all want to see attacking football. But more importantly, I want to see Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League next season. You know, at the moment, we're in a stage where you have to fight. And the difference between what you just said there about Villa is Unai Emery is a top manager that understands when to change. This is the difference, right? Unai Emery will go into these tough games in Europe. Look how he approached the Bayern Munich game. He knows player for player, Bayern Munich are better than Aston Villa. He knows. But he made them strong, resolute, compact, tight. They came away with a win. I just don't believe we ever do that. And I'm not saying again, Brentford, we're talking about a team in the bottom half here. We're not even talking about we're going to the Etihad or the Emirates. We're going to Brentford. So for me, I just feel it would be great to see us just be a bit more compact and try and hit teams on the break. But I genuinely don't know. Look, you know what it's like, Jay. We've won 1 of 11 Premier League games. If we win this, people will lose their minds. You know what people are like. Yeah. See, his tactics do work. For me, I think his tactics don't work, and he's got to drop his ego for the good of Tottenham Hotspur. He's got to drop his ego for us getting points in the Premier League.
Savva.
Yeah.
No, I was talking to my mum, and my mum's a Chelsea fan, right? My mum supports Chelsea, and she said to me, right? She said, you know what her problem is with this team is that Ange isn't setting us up to the strength of the players. He's setting the players up to his strengths as a manager, and I think
that's right.
Biggest problem. That is massive. That's a big problem. He's setting these players up to play to his strengths, and it's not natural to them. He's not setting them up to play to their strengths. Johnson, have him running off the shoulder, drag us in, have cover for him, play him in a little bit deeper into our own half so he doesn't have to make those recovery runs. Same with Van der Ven and whatnot. So,
Jay,
yeah.
Agreed.
You know what you were saying? It's right. This is why we're talking so negatively about a Premier League game. This is why last night, just touching on what you mentioned about last night, Jay, that's why last night was so uplifting, because all we've had all season, this has been the worst league season for decades. We've looked at the manager and his system and his setup and how it works. We've looked at the team and the results. We've looked at the owners and how they're just messing about, just taking everybody for mugs. It's just been gloom and doom, hasn't it? Right the way through. So, this is why yesterday was so uplifting, because the only bright spot in the whole season has been how the kids have shown up. The only thing, and no one knows if they're going to be, if they're going to be up to the standard of a Kane or a Ledley or whoever. But it's just so nice just to walk out of a ground. I mean, the buzz about the place when Ajayi scored and when Mikey Moore scored, I mean, the place just erupted. And it's just so nice just to have a little bit of light in a season of gloom and doom. And it has been. We're looking at going to Brentford and we're thinking, Jesus, this is going to be a tough game. We should be going to Brentford and thinking we should get a minimum of a draw. And now we're thinking maybe it's going to be a maximum of a draw.
No, but
but not
absolutely.
just that, Lugo. We're looking at the teams behind us, like Ipswich and Wolves, and hoping that they drop points. Like, look at the position and that's what I said. For me, look, I was happy with last night, but it was a bit bittersweet. It was a bittersweet win because I'm happy that we've won, we've gone through, but at the same time, it's like you wake up the next morning and like, all right, there's no more Europa League now. We've got the Prem to focus on, and we're not in a good position. So I'm extremely proud, and I'm happy for the youngsters. Seeing it, Ajayi run over to the south stand and knee slide in front of the 17,000 fans. Those are things you love to see. But then you wake up the next morning and you're thinking, all right, well, we got Brentford on the weekend, and they're a team that they've been one of the top goal scorers this season, and we've been one of the teams that have struggled the most to keep goals out. So it's as much as I'm happy about last night, I'm looking at Brentford now, and I'm worried, if I'm being completely honest. I'm worried that that game's going to be a basketball game, if I'm being completely honest. I'm very worried.
I think that's sorry, just quickly, Lou, but I think that's one of the key things for me, Jay, is with these tactics, I know there are certain people that like them. I don't understand how, by the way. That's just my opinion. I can't understand the chaotic mess, right? But you're right. It is the nature that even when we are 1 up or 2 up, we never feel, I know you didn't say this, but I never feel relaxed. At 1-0, 2-0 up, I'm never thinking we're in control. Even when we go 2-0 up, 3-0 up in games, you're thinking we're going to do something silly. We're going to keep playing this way and we're going to concede. And more often than not, we do. And you're right. It is the basketball nature of the games. If you keep giving that basketball nature, you are going to lose more games than you win. And when you look down the years, Chelsea's winning teams, Arsenal's winning teams, Liverpool's, City's, they don't give you the basketball nature. Look at Man City, who have dominated this league for 6, 7 years, 8 years, whatever. Yes, you can get at them every now and then on a counter-attack. Every now and then, when they give the ball away, you can get at them. But it's not every time they attack. Every time we attack, it's bouncing back. It's coming back to us. And we're going to have fullbacks over there.
It's like a shot clock, Savva.
It is. It's almost like, in, does anyone remember Big Break on TV, the snooker program, or even in snooker in real time, where they've got you got 5 seconds left to take your shot. It's like teams are going, boom, 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 because we don't know how to slow a game down. We don't know how to take sting out of it, because Ange is so gung-ho that the team never actually go, right, for 20 minutes, let's be boring. Do you know what I mean? For 20 minutes, let's keep the ball, let's kill the game off. We did it against Hoffenheim, 2-0 up. Nope. Couldn't keep the ball. Every time we got it, Bentancur tries to pass forward really quickly. Kulu wants to dribble at them every time. I'm not knocking those individual players, but you get my point. For me, I just think our tactics are terrible. I agree.
Yeah, he's
I
setting
think
the team
I
up
think
for
what
it.
I think we'll look back. I think we'll look back next season on the previous 2 years and think just that they were 2 years in the history. Mad tactics. We're back to normal. I honestly think that it may even come soon. It may even be sooner, depending who takes over. I think I think you'll be gone in a couple of weeks. Don't see how this is sustainable, to be honest.
I've never wanted you to be more right, Lubo. Ever. I've never wanted you to be more right.
At the end of the day, with Enoch, it's all about money, and the cost to the club with the debts they've got will be catastrophic. I think it'll be the last thing they need. Will be Championship football. Can you imagine? It's funny. I was driving home before I came on the show last night, listening to Cundy and Jamie O'Hara, and the question was, would you take Champions League football next year? You win the Europa League in Bilbao on the Wednesday, and you lose to a last-minute goal at home to Brighton on the Sunday and go down. And that was the question they were asking viewers.
I saw that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Never. No way.
If the club goes down, we talked about this here, haven't we? And I really do need to go in a minute. If the club goes down, I genuinely don't think, Ian, people understand how catastrophic it will be with the debts at the club, with attracting footballers, with partnerships. Going down is catastrophic. We cannot go down. I don't care if that means I can't win a win a Europa League and get relegated. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. We've gone this long without a European trophy. It's genuinely not worth it. But last thing I'll say before we go, because I have a meeting in 8 minutes. We've got to that stage now where the whole, let's not concentrate on the league, just worry about the cups. That's gone. That's gone. That's what you say when you're 10th with 10 games to go and you can't make Europe. We've got 15 games to go. We're 15th, and a few more defeats, we will be dragged into that battle massively. So for me, this whole just concentrate on the cups, I think these people are playing with fire. I think that sort of opinion is playing with fire. I agree. I do think we've got I don't think we've got a great squad. I do think we've got a better squad than what is being showcased. Look, Ian, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Jay, thanks for coming on. I'm sure I'll see you guys at the weekend at some point. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Big up to a user who said, I hear Spurs exploring options to bring. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to. I mean, this is why they invented the word Spursy, a user. Again, another very average footballer, had a decent career at that level. It shouldn't be anywhere near Tottenham Hotspur. And a user's come back in again and said, bees will be well stocked on honey. I say play our youth. Well, a user, as I said earlier in the show, got to be really careful. Brentford are a good team at home. If you play too many of those youth players, they won't be used to it, and we will struggle. It's a very delicate balance, isn't it? It's a very delicate balance. Guys, Ian, you want to say one last thing, don't you? I can see it.
No, we need a point tomorrow, wins against United and Ipswich, and then we can relax a bit with the league. Before we play City, Bournemouth, Fulham, Chelsea. You know, we got 4 very tough games there. So the next 3 games are very, very important. Really important.
No, completely agree. By the way, here is the link to Jay's channel. Smash that link, Jay. What are we on now in terms of subscribers? Where are we at?
We're on 434 at the minute, so we're growing. We're on the road to
436. 436. You've just gone up to, guys and girls. Look, 436. Quick maths, Richard. 64 subs. If we can get 64 subs today. There's 450 of you in it at the moment. If we can get 64 subs, get this man to 500. It's such a good feeling when you get your big milestones. Get over there, subscribe, show the love. My channel's all about. I'll be as feisty as I want on a debate, but I'm all about sharing the love. Take care. I've got to go. Bye-bye. Much
See
love.
you guys.
Ange out. Enoch out. Levy out. But come on, Lubo. Come on, the Hotspur Cave. And come on, you
Come on,
Spurs.
you Spurs.
You Spurs.